Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a special episode of CSGO News where I'm going to share with you guys 4 to 5 stories in CSGO News that have been happening the last week or so, but I'm also going to go on a rant about my YouTube network and the problems I've been having with them in terms of payment. Now I know YouTube is not all about money, but that will be the later half of this video. As always, let's get right into it. And first off, in big CSGO and also in general esports news, we have the official disbanding and shutting down of all operations for Copenhagen Wolves. If you guys have never heard about them, they're more widely known a few years ago back in League of Legends, but they also had a CSGO team and even a FIFA professional esports team as well. Now again, they were more notoriously known in the CSGO scene for being one of those teams who had weekly roster changes. They had so many player changes in the past month or so, and especially in the past few years, and they were never really got a firm setting into the actual CSGO scene. More widely known a couple of years ago, I remember seeing them when I used to watch League of Legends streams, and they've officially ceased all operations. In other words, they have gone out of business. They are no longer a thing. It was incredibly depressing and really saddening to actually read the article on their website where they had to state they were shutting down all their teams and their business itself, and they had everything going on sale. So if you guys are curious about that, Copenhagen gear is now on sale. It's some really sick gear, although the mouse pads were like $22, so kind of a rip-off there. Anyway, that's not part of the news. There were big announcements inside Copenhagen Wolves. Obviously, they had two owners, the main owner being Jacob Christensen. He's actually still involved with Astralis, so he kind of got carried away with kind of trying to run two esports teams. I'm not sure how exactly he's tied to Astralis, but that's what he'll be focusing on more in the future. Then the other co-owner by the name of Dig Life, he's actually involved with NIP. So the two kind of co-owners here, they kind of disbanded the whole organization because they kind of got carried away and they weren't seeing enough success to actually retain the business itself. So best of luck to all the Copenhagen players who used to play for the FIFA, CSGO, and League of Legends teams. It was incredibly sad to read that article about why they're disbanding, but unfortunately it's not working out for them, so they are now no longer a part of the scene whatsoever. If you guys want to buy me a 22 euro pound dollar mouse pad, I'm not gonna argue. Also in really cool news, I brought this up a couple videos ago and actually a long time ago as well in a separate video, the White House petition to get work visas acquired for every single esport there is. Now if you play League of Legends or Dota 2 or one of those bigger, more revenue boosting esports games, it's not too hard to get a work visa here in America or other countries as well, but it has been very hard for CSGO players to achieve these kind of things. But Complexity's very own Dephh actually secured an athlete's visa, otherwise known as a P1 athletic visa for all of you legal rats out there. And this is really big because it's one of those first ever, he is one of the first ever CSGO players to actually acquire an athletic visa for this, which means he can travel freely about. Now there are some limitations to that, but he's one of the first players to do this, so it really strikes a really good note in the scene of other players possibly able to do this in the future, and they can use him as an example. So congrats to Dephh, congrats to Complexity, and he's been one of their best players the past few weeks, one of their top fraggers, highest accuracy counts, highest KDRs, so congrats to him. He literally earned it. And also in huge CSGO and esports news again today, we do have former Lounge&Gaming, who was now known as Dobry&Gaming for about the past month or so. They've been performing very well as Dobry&Gaming after they disbanded from Lounge&Gaming, the website, as most of you guys know. They beat a multitude of very good teams, including Na'Vi. They beat them in a best-of-3 series not too long ago. And again, they've only been performing as Dobry&Gaming on their own for about the last month or so, and they have now officially been bought out by Kinguin. Kinguin, a website that's notoriously known in the CSGO community to be hated by a lot of us, including myself. I really don't support it. A lot of the CS community sees that, a lot of their items on their website are kind of flawed, really, in the sense they're not really worth buying, and by the time they get to you, sometimes it suspiciously takes very, very long times to actually get those items to your account. So kind of a weird thing there, a lot of hate coming towards Kinguin. Obviously, the last team they owned was G2. They sold them to FaZe Clan, and now they have acquired Dobry&Gaming. So let's see how well it goes out for Dobry&Gaming, a team that's performing very well on their own as of late. They have now been acquired by Kinguin, and we can also assume because Kinguin has not owned a team since G2, which was actually 9 months ago, they probably acquired a bunch of capital, and Dobry&Gaming was probably paid very well for the deal. So best of luck to them. Hopefully they do well under the organization, although a lot of us don't like Kinguin. But I could be wrong. Maybe some of you guys do. And very last in today's news before I go on a rant about my YouTube network and how little I make off YouTube. Again, I'm very pissed off. If you cannot tell, well, you probably can't tell, but it's going to be a great rant, so hope you guys all stick around for that. Lastly, in today's CSGO news, a few days ago we did mention, but it has since been confirmed, CLG will be using their coach Pita as their 5th member. Now, it was also confirmed he's just a stand-in. CLG will still be looking for a 5th member after Eleague, but since Eleague Group C actually premieres tonight and is going on right now, they needed their 5th member, and so CLG Pita is playing as their 5th. They're actually not doing too well. I think they're losing to Astralis as of right now, but first off, in Group C of Eleague, we did have Astralis beating Energy 2-0 in a pretty clean game, but they were also both very close, 16-12 and 16-14. Astralis obviously playing without Kerrigan. They're playing with their coach Zonic, but Kerrigan should be back in a couple of days because it's also been confirmed that he's going to Eleague sometime soon, so he should be there by tomorrow or the day after that. So Astralis has beat Energy 2-0 in some close games there, and then CLG actually tied SK in their best-of-2 series, and again we have CLG for the last games of the day taking on Astralis in a best-of-2 series there. That was a lot of information. Hope you guys guys all caught that. But now, onto the more important type of this video. It is the rant of my YouTube network, which is Asafin, also part of Broadband Network. If you guys want some tips and some strategies to actually, if you're ever going to look for a network, if you guys are starting your own YouTube channels, here's the part of the video you guys want to watch. If you guys aren't into that, then hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at the CSGO News video, but here's where the rant begins. If you guys did not see it, 2 days ago on my Twitter, I posted this picture. And this picture shows my whole month of April, when my channel was just taking off. It was actually a couple weeks before April where CSGO News really took off. A lot of you guys started watching it. And I grossed 500,000 views. A lot of people would think, oh my gosh, Jake, you're making bank. You're making absolutely bank. You're probably going to actually do YouTube full time. A lot of people, naively think that. Even me, myself, I thought that at one point. I made $55, as you guys can see by this monthly report. I made $55 for those 500,000 views. And what really makes me mad is the fact that my actual reports on YouTube, the reports I go to see how much I'm making, showed that I was making anywhere from $150 to $250 that month, and I was eventually paid $55. So for a guy like me, I'm not selfish. I've been doing YouTube for free for a long time, so I thought, okay, I'll be making $200 this month. That's awesome. That's a lot of Subway sandwiches. That's a lot of awesome gifts for my parents or, even myself, eventually a computer. After a couple months, I made $55. And that really kind of got under my skin. The fact that I was making more this time last year. For a little perspective for all of you guys, my YouTube channel has never been this big before. I was making more this time last year when I was getting around 20,000 views a month. My CPM back then was over 1. My CPM right now, as of right now, is around 0.17. If you guys don't know what CPM or RPM stands for, that's your money you make per 1,000 views. As of right now where it stands, I make less than 20 cents per 1,000 views. And you have companies like my company, Asafin, attached to Broadband, showing this picture on their main website. This guy had 2.6 million views, and he's somehow pulling in $12,000 on their Visa Catalyst, which shows how much they're supposed to be making. That's over 5 CPM, 5.0. What is mine? 0.17. You see, companies like this, they project these false images. It should be illegal what they do. They give these false images of their company saying, you're going to get the best CPMs in the world. You'll get unreal numbers. Because I'll tell you guys this right now. I told you guys this earlier. I grossed 2 million views this past month. As I just showed you guys there, I grossed 500,000 in April, and I made $55. I grossed over 2 million in May, and I made less than $500. Now what's really scaring me about this is this guy grossed 2.6 million views on their homepage, and he made $12,000. I grossed 2 million and I made 500. And what's even worse, I'm not complaining about $500. That's a lot of money. That's a heck of a lot of money. I would live off that for a long time. But the thing is, I might not even make that. My actual April projections showed that I was going to be making anywhere to $150 to $200. I got paid $55. So for my May projections, yes, it shows I'm making $500. I might only get paid $200. I have no legal sense to defend myself against these people who are such a corrupted industry. We have Broadband, one of the biggest networks ever. They have thousands of users upon thousands of users, and they don't ever track individually, and they don't ever respond, they don't give me the time of day. And so it's come to the point where I have to say, if you want a network, guys, if you guys want, to choose a YouTube network, contact me via Twitter. I'll give you guys my best advice. My best advice would be not to choose a network hastily. Do not choose it fast. Research it heavily and just really, really think about it before you go into it. I am constantly, every day, regretting my decision because I'm now in a lock-in contract with Asafin/Broadband Network. And I will, for the next 5 months of my life, be giving most of my earnings to them because I chose the wrong network. So for those of you out there who think I'm making thousands of dollars based off my Social Blade account, I'm not. As of right now, I'm making $50 a month. And I don't mind that. I've been doing YouTube for free for the last 4 years. I can do it again. And the fact that I'm complaining about this kind of makes me sick. I know you guys can probably dislike this video, but I want you guys to know I have YouTube transparency. If you guys ever want to know anything from me, I will tell you it. I will tell you how much I make from a website I sponsor. I will tell you how much I make from YouTube. I don't care who cares about it. If you guys want to know it, just ask. As always, thank you all for watching. Live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you guys more than my network. That's for sure. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Really quick, thank you to Helix CSGO channel. Please go check him out. Links in the description, guys. He supplied this awesome gameplay and future gameplays as well because you guys all hate the same gameplay every single day. So Helix, thank you so much, man.